right, we're recording. Hi, this is Trevor Aboussafy of the Northwest Edmonton show for the Trevor Aboussafy Loves Northwest Edmonton Facebook page and YouTube channel. Very special guest today joining me via Zoom is Michelle Henderson. Hi, everybody. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So again, I'm ironing out technical difficulties on the fly this morning. So everybody watching, if this is terrible, I apologize in advance. Like I told Michelle a minute ago here, I'm just a guy who makes videos in his kitchen. So I apologize if it's terrible. I'll try to do better next time. So Aaron, how are you doing today?
Michelle, I'm doing great.
Oh, Michelle, sorry, I got Aaron Rutherford still in my head from last week. Michelle Henderson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. It is a beautiful day outside, and after this interview, I am going to go enjoy some of the sunshine and the nice weather.
Perfect.
Good. So let's kind of jump right in here. I'll let everybody know that's watching that you are running for city council in the Aniniq ward. That's right?
Yes.
All right. Well, why don't we start out with you just telling us a little bit about yourself, share your biography with us and how you got here and why you're running for city council.
Sure. I grew up in North Edmonton. I've always been a resident of Edmonton, and now I live in Aniniq. I am a mom to 3 little girls, so they are all elementary age. And I run a free parenting resource that I've been doing for many years. So I actually connect with a lot of different community members, families, small business owners, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I do and what I enjoy. And I'm just wanting to take it to the next level with city councilor.
Oh, okay. And I've done a little bit of poking around on your what's the name of your blog? Edmonton Mama? Is that it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, sounds like you really have some love for the things that are going on in the city here. So you and I are on the same page for the how much we appreciate this part of town. Do you mind me asking what part of the Aniniq ward you live in?
I live in Oxford right now. I actually just moved here. I was living close to Castle Downs, but I just moved to the Oxford area.
I actually know a family of folks with the last name Henderson that live in Castle Downs. So I asked them if they were related to you, and they all said, I don't think so.
No, my Saskatchewan when he was younger. So all of my my relatives on the Henderson side live in Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, my wife's from Saskatchewan, so she'll get behind you on that. She's an honorary native North Sider now, though. She's all in on North Side Edmonton.
You converted her over, hey?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wasn't always a North Sider myself. I grew up on the South Side, but I've been living north of the river now probably since 2002.
Do you like it better?
Yeah, I do. The community here I like a lot more. I find the people, especially in this northwest part of town, are a lot more willing to get to know their neighbors and engage with their community, and I really appreciate that. Which is why I started this whole thing of loving the northwest part of town.
Yeah, your neighbors definitely make a big difference on enjoying where you live.
It for sure. And we did live in Oxford as well for a little while before we moved to Lauderdale. So I know that area quite well. You guys have a very good active community league there that does some really nice things, and probably one of the best spray parks in the city for those who have kids. If anybody who has kids is watching this, check out the spray park in Oxford, Cumberland.
Yeah, the one at Hilly Hemden, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, well, when I first moved there, Hilly Hamden didn't exist, so it was just the Oxford Cumberland Community League Spray Park. But now I guess it's the Hilly Hamden Park, or is whatever knows it as.
Yeah, I've heard wonderful things about the community league here, actually. But by the time we moved here, it was just starting to the COVID just starting, so everything was starting to get shut down, and a lot of the events that they have got canceled, put off, changed. So I'm looking forward to that in future years here for sure.
Excellent. Yeah, no, it's a great neighborhood. If anybody is is looking for, like where I live, the houses are all built in the 50s and 60s. So it's
Oh
one of
yeah.
the other communities in the ward. But if that, I always go, oh, what? Yeah, Oxford's one of the new communities, not remembering that that community was started, I think, in 2006. So now it's like 14, 15 years old. I don't think it qualifies as a new community anymore, but that's when I actually built houses
Gonna make
in
me
the
feel
neighborhood.
old. I remember when the area.
I was actually building houses in that neighborhood in like 2000, what was that, 2013. Yeah. So I like, it was a brand new neighborhood when I first got exposed to it. And now it's like, oh, geez, I'm an old man now. Uh, all right. So moving on with the questions here. The first thing, and I kind of have these questions I ask everybody. I asked all of the federal candidates in the last federal election basically the same questions for my blog. And um, I wanted to kind of throw these back to you to get your perspective on them. So we learned a little bit about you now. Let's jump right in. The first question is, what specific campaign issues are most important to you personally in this upcoming municipal election?
Okay, so I think one of the main things that everybody needs to deal with and we need to build back up is everything that's affected small businesses. Um, a lot of we need to do a lot with our economy to build everything back up. Hopefully, try to keep some of, the money localized. Supporting our local businesses is really important. We need to get things opening up again when it's safe. And then something that goes hand in hand with that, that's also, I think, just as big of an issue is everybody's mental health with having to sit at home, feeling safe, being properly informed with the right kind of information that's actually accurate, correct, easy to understand, so that we don't have such a people hitting heads with, no, this is what's right, this is what's safe. And I want everybody to be able to feel safe and to be able to get back out there so we can enjoy our lives and play with our kids and get out and socialize, and then at the same time be able to support these small businesses by getting out there and just doing what we need to do so that we can thrive again as a community. And I think that's going to take priority over everything else. Then we also have things that people are really concerned about when you come to smaller things, like our roads aren't repaired often enough. There's these mistakes. This is kind of cut corner, and then we have issues about neighborhoods where north side seems to be the last one that's always plowed for snow and looked at for different, I guess, things to do in the city. We don't have, I think you brought up the issue, we don't have a rec center on this end. We're the ones that don't have shopping centers. We don't have that, there's a lot of things that are missing on this part of the city, and people, like you said, act like this is a newer area of the city. It's really not. I think Castle, for example, I think was the heart of the Northwest for a long time, and it's been here longer than I've been alive. We're not a new community. We're not a new part of the city. And I think it's time that we are made a priority as well. We're just as important as all the other parts of the city. And I think that there needs to be a stronger voice to say these things and to bring it up and bring it to light and actually make things happen here.
Great. Okay, so I really appreciate when people tell me they want to be a strong voice for the constituency, because you're absolutely right. We don't have a legitimate mall north of the Yellowhead and west of 97th Street. The closest thing we have is like we got Londonderry on the west end, but that's a 20-minute drive for a lot of people that live in the Aniniq ward to go there. We've got the shopping centers like the Albany Walmart and 137th Avenue Power Center, but there's no there isn't like a focal point for retail within this. And I think that's not something the city can do specifically, but there could be perhaps policies put in place that would promote the development of that, which I think is something that we could really benefit from, not just having all of this sort of interspersed box store shopping.
Yeah.
So that's
something that people to this city would be great. Not that the government brings in a mall per se, but just to focus on things that bring other people to the city. Maybe they're going to spend their money here at our small businesses. Maybe they're going to enjoy their time here and, really make our communities thrive and grow.
Yeah, I think if the government does what the government is supposed to do, and they can create an environment for economic development within the quadrant of the city that we're talking about, then the businesses and the land developers and everybody who are actually responsible for building those things might be more inclined to take a look at this part of the city and maybe invest some money in our infrastructure here. So yeah,
Yeah, well,
I've said lots of times that we're the last to get snow plowed up here, and we're the last to get everything. My parents live in South Terwilliger, and I'll go down there and drive around their neighborhood, and all the streets are completely cleared, and there's 4 inches of snow on top of my front sidewalk. And so yeah, I really that's kind of my pet peeve, and the key thing I keep talking about is how often we get sort of ignored up here.
yeah, well,
Yep, sorry, go ahead.
someone with the city of Edmonton before COVID, actually, someone in the developmental part of the city, and they want to be able to grow our city. I think their goal, if I'm not mistaken, it was by 2050, they almost want to double the population. So they actually are putting in things into place to encourage community growth and encourage people to love our city and encourage people to have families here. And I the north side, especially the northwest here, to be the last on the list for the things that they put into place for why we should love our community. And I feel like sometimes we are put on the back burner, and we should be included and have just as much of a piece of that as everybody else does. I mean, this is a great place to live, and it needs to be put in the race with everybody else. So I think that's really important, especially when there's community things coming and things in the near future here. We need to be included in it.
Well, you probably know this while living in Oxford. If you can get onto 142nd Street and plow north, it's often easier to find resources in St. Albert than it is in Edmonton, right? When I lived in Oxford, we were constantly going to St. Albert for shopping or access to some of the things that are going on in St. Albert Trail, specialty shops, things like that. And if we were able to focus that economic development more locally, we could keep all of that here in our neighborhoods and be supporting our local businesses, like you said, instead of, not that I have anything against St. Albert, it's a wonderful community, and I enjoy going up there as much as well. But why not keep that in our own backyard instead of taking it to the next city over, has always been my thought.
Oh yeah, well I agree. I mean, if you visit a small business here in Edmonton, you're supporting your neighbor, you're supporting their family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you real quick about you said you wanted to focus on mental health, making it easy to understand for people. Do you have anything specifically in mind? Could you expand on that a little bit?
I think it's going to depend on where we are by the time different people are in place here. So I mean, you're looking at 9 months, 10 months into the future here. So it's going to depend on what the people need at that point. I think if it was right now, we need more, I think we need more centralized, informed information coming out, something that people are agreeing are facts. And then you give them to the people as such, not, there's so much of a difference of opinion. People don't know what to believe anymore. There's just too much coming out that's not clear. So people kind of don't listen. And it's like, oh, well, they told us this a few days ago, so that must still be true. And it's like, no, haven't you listened today? It's completely changed. That's not the job as community leaders, whether you're in a position of a political career or not, you should be responsible for giving people the information that helps them to be able to comfortably live their lives. You have people here that are scared to go outside for a walk. And then you have other people that are comfortable, going into any store they want to all day, every day. And it's, there needs to be more of a balance, and we need to be able to be comfortable based on what's actually safe and have access to the proper information. I think that's a big thing. And not just during COVID, but at all times, that we should just, we should have access to information that's easy to understand and isn't overwhelming.
Right. That's good. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I've been trying to have a nuanced conversation about COVID and people's mental health for a while now. So I appreciate you saying that. Like, I have concerns about, you don't need to, this is just going to be me going off on a tangent for a second. I won't expect you to comment on this, but I've been trying to have a discussion about the sociological and psychological psychological impacts on mask wearing. When you go out in public and you can't see people's faces and you lose a giant amount of the expression that people are giving towards you. And I'm just curious as to what that does to a person's mental health and what that does to your sense of community and to your connection to the people around you. But when you bring the topic up, you will immediately get people that say, well, just wear a mask. You're going to kill my grandma if you don't put a mask on, which, is not exactly a nuanced argument or a particularly effective model for how to deal with the pandemic. And then you'll get other people who are like, oh, you believe in putting those face diapers on, you sheep? Why don't you just, go live in, over there with the other sheep and stay the heck away from me? And which also is not a productive standpoint to take. So I think a lot of that comes from clear communication. You're right. Like when we don't have good communication from the people who are making the rules as to why the rules exist, what the science behind those rules are, and how they came up with those decisions.
Yeah.
You get these fracturings of people who are like, oh, I'm going to go listen to this news source, I'm going to go listen to that news source, and then we can't come back together. We need somebody who's going to speak
I think
to the reasons and bring us all back together.
Yeah, more centralized, more easy to understand, more everybody's on the same page, and these are the reasons why. I think that was really important. And I totally agree with you. I was somewhere yesterday where I actually took a wrong turn, and the other car in front of me also took a wrong turn, and we undid the windows, and I was like, is this where you're going to? It was so nice to see somebody's face and this beautiful lady's smile, and she was able to, we were obviously distanced far enough, but it's so nice to see people's face. I totally agree. But then there's a balance between, what's healthy and what's safe and whatnot. So
right. Yeah, I agree. When I go out, something I've been trying to do for years is go to public, like go out when you go to a store or a park or whatever, just make sure that you smile at the people who are walking past you, right? And just let people know that you're there, you're friendly, you're a nice person. These people are in your community. When somebody smiles at you, you tend to smile back. And when people smile at you the whole day, you tend to feel better going out. And that makes me feel like I'm more connected and that I'm having more, more tied into my community, even if it's just, a 3-second smile. And you can't do that when you're walking into a store like this. So yeah, that's just my concern. And it's not because I don't think masks work, and it's not because I don't think COVID's a problem. I wonder what this prolonged experience is doing to people. And I think that's a conversation we should be able to talk about at least, over Zoom like this, and say, hi, what are we doing exactly? What are the pitfalls we can encounter? Even like, if you have to wear a mask, what can we do to mitigate the problems that are associated with that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Such a different on opinion about it. Exactly like you pointed out, different people are going to take, need different measures to get comfortable again. So like I was saying, it's in the United States, they're lifting mask mandates. I'm not saying that that's the best decision or the worst, but it is what they're doing, and we tend to follow suit. So there's light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully it's going to be done soon. And I was just thinking about when you say that you're covered, what I actually noticed, especially when I go to the grocery store or something, I love to, if little kids are looking, I always love to smile at them. They're just, I just love little kids. But what I started noticing is little kids will look right at my eyes now, as opposed to the whole face where they used to. They'll look me right in the eye and they can see me smiling with my eyes. So I feel like the kids are really adjusting well, and it's us as adults that need to adjust to. And it's hard. It has not been easy on anyone. It is hard, but I'm really seeing the light at the end of the tunnel here, and this is going to be over soon.
Good. Okay, great. Let's go to the next question here. And this is one of my favorite questions to ask people, because regardless of what the district you're running in is, whether it's municipal, provincial, federal election, there's going to be a diversity of people living there. There's going to be young people and old people and men and women and different socioeconomic statuses, and everybody's going to have a different concern and what's important to them. And you can't always make everybody happy all of the time. So part of the role of a politician is to weigh all of the concerns that they their constituents have, and then try to make decisions that, you know, reflect the people they represent. So given the diversity of opinions of people in the Aniniq ward, how do you intend to address the problems of having personal or ideological differences with the people that you have voted you in and that you would represent on city council?
Gotcha. So there's just so many different kinds of people anywhere you go, especially in Edmonton. It's actually one of the reasons why I love Edmonton. So one of the things is this is things that I've done before, where I do research for, say I'm doing something about parenting. I don't just look at one group of parents, I look at all groups of parents. And this includes the people that willingly reach out. And then there's also groups that you need to put the effort into to reach out to them, so that you are getting everybody's opinion, not only I find typically when big decisions are made, a lot of times it's by the time most people find out about them, the decision's already been made. They haven't gotten to give their opinion, and I think that that's very unfortunate. And I think more needs to be done to reach out to different people and not look at them as a group, but look at the community as a whole and say, you know, a lot of people have this point or that point, and then to share the information before the decision is made. So let's say that there's somebody, one of your neighbors has this opinion and it's totally opposite of yours. There might be a legitimate reason why they have that opinion, and they might have information or viewpoint that you never thought of before. So maybe if we have all of the information on the table, then we can all look at it together and say, you know what, these are the pros, these are the cons, this is what everybody kind of thinks, and then have a community discussion about that, and then come to some sort of conclusion. Like you said, you can't please everybody with every decision. There's always going to be a little bit of pushback when you decide something, but I think opening up more communication and having more information that's, like I said, I'm so big on this, information that is easy to understand, not looping people around and having big, huge, long essays and too many big words and too many ways to click. Just a centralized, easy to understand way of getting information so that people can give the opinions they want and have a healthy conversation about it. And then my job wouldn't be to give my opinion on it. It would be to see what the collective voice is for the ward. And I think that's just so, so important. Actually, it's one of my favorite things to do is to connect with people. So that's something that I would be looking forward to if I was to get this job.
So you would be focused on engaging with the community then and getting the diversity of opinions and communicating back to people in,
yeah, of course.
in a simplified version of what the message is that the majority of people are saying. Is that, am I hearing that right?
Yeah, I think so. Just as long as we're all sharing the information of why the opinions are the way they are, and then also sharing with people not just what this decision is going to do for our community or our city in a year. What's it going to look like in 5 years and 10 years we do or we don't decide on whatever the issue is, right? So I just think bringing all these things to light might centralize some people's opinions on certain things too. So.
Okay, good. Let's go on to the next question. Oops. So I'm reading these off of my phone, which keeps locking on me. And so I have to reopen my phone every time we change topics.
That's okay.
What's the reason you decided to seek public office?
I actually had some community members tell me that they thought I should. I wasn't really thinking about it. And then I had a couple people actually approach me and say, you know what, I think that you'd be great in this position. I picked it up and I got more information and I talked to a couple other people about it. And then I talked to another person to get a lot more information about it before I decided. And then I thought, you know what, I think that the experience I already have with connecting with the community would bode well and maybe bring something new and fresh and authentic to the table. And I just wanted to, you know, it's going to be up to the constituents of the ward if this is something that they want, but I wanted to put my name forward. And if this is something that people want to see as the face of city council, I just want to put my name in there and see how it goes.
Okay. All right, cool. So no lifelong dreams of becoming a city council person then?
I no, not for politics per se, just because of how you know, it's kind of like a little dark. Like I said, it's you get certain information and is that really the information? Is this all of the information? And it's kind of like I wouldn't want to be the one that's coming out of my mouth. But if I was, I think that city council is different than picking a political party, and city council is so much more about community and about your neighborhood and about connecting with people. That's something that I love. That's something that I'm passionate about. I'm not passionate about polarized views or radicalized views or having to choose certain things because you're associated with a certain party. I love just communicating with people and advocating for people. It's what I do. So I just think that because city council has that as part of the job, that's why I would love to do it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most beautiful things about municipal politics, that we don't have party involvement in it currently. And I know there are people who would like to change that, but I think that would be a big mistake. And, really municipal politics are the politics that, affect your life on the day to day the most, right? Uh, what the federal government is doing in as far as foreign policy, or unless you're a military member, military policy, that doesn't affect most people every single day, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're important, but they're more ethereal. It's when are my streets getting cleared so that I can drive to work? What is the infrastructure that I'm using? How am I interacting with emergency services? How are the things that I'm touching, seeing, feeling, and interacting with every day being managed? And so to me, that is the most important part of politics, is how does it affect the day-to-day life of people? And a lot of people see municipal politics as the bottom tier of the three levels, but it really is. Oh, I'm just gonna in case anybody was paying attention, that is the Futurama soundtrack, is my ringer on my phone. So it's really the most important level of politics for me, and having the party involvement out of it means you really can do a much better job of listening to the constituents of the ward, listening to what their specific needs are, what will make their lives better, what their challenges are, and then dealing with them at that day-to-day level. So I agree with you. This is an important way to do it, and we should probably keep parties out of it as long as we can. Yeah, sorry, I'm off on a tangent again there. I tend to do that.
No, I'm hearing your opinion on it.
Okay, moving on. You said, okay, we got why you're seeking office. What do you most want people to know about you as a candidate, and why should they vote for you?
To know about me is, I'm pretty transparent. So I mean, if you wanted to look something up about me, I'm not just involved in the community because there's an election and there's campaigning. It's something that I love to do, and if I wasn't to be elected, it's something I'm going to continue to do. I love to be a part of my community. I like to attend events. I like to share information. I like to just be involved and to talk to people, get to know my neighbors. This is what I do. And as far as voting for me, I think I would rather not say something like that. I'd rather advise people, anyone that's listening, to look up every single person that's running in your ward. Look at who they are. I mean, we're living in 2021. Everything is available on the internet. Do they have a presence anywhere before the election started? Are they going to disappear as soon as they're voted in? Do they care about the community? Or is there a certain niche that they like to take care of? And maybe that's someone that you do want to vote for, is someone that's only, is only concentrating on small business, or only concentrating on schools, or just as examples. This isn't anyone specific, but look into who the candidates are, and then actually come out and vote. The municipal amount of people that vote is so low. It's the lowest out of any of the elections. And I just think that people need to be encouraged to get information and inform themselves, and then vote for who they believe is the one that's going to represent them the best, the one that they want to see in for the next 4 years, and kind of see what they can do for the community.
That's a great point. You can win an election on an Edmonton City Council seat by a couple of hundred votes, and it happens every single election, right? You may only have a few thousand people show up to vote for you in total. So if you can sway, a dozen people, that can make a big difference on a political campaign. Is there anything specifically you're doing for your campaign? Like, are you focusing on the social media and the online? Are you doing flyers, signs, get town halls? What are you doing for you mentioned you're focused on campaigns. What exactly are you doing?
Sorry, I'm focusing on what? Sorry, that just cut out for a sec.
You said you've been focusing on the campaign and connecting to people. I'm just curious what your campaign, like what have you been up to exactly? What's the specific things you've been working on?
Okay, so I mean, it's still a little bit far away, and I've been wanting to be very COVID protocol cautious. So I'm not approaching too many people at this point. But I think as things are loosening up and going into different phases, we're going to be meeting a lot more community members. And I have my campaign manager who has some really great ideas about how to see. We always have to measure what's going on, but he has some great ideas about maybe some events that we can host if things are safe, and just getting out there and really meeting people and seeing what we can do for the community. So for now, I've just put my name in the race, and I've just been kind of out there online and available for anyone who wants to call or email or do a video call or just to get to know me, ask any questions they'd like, and I'm really transparent with it. So
Okay.
that's so far where we've gotten, and we have some plans going forward.
Well, hopefully, the 6 people that watch this show will. No, I'm joking. I think I've got a couple of videos now that have hit the 3,000 reach mark and have many hundreds of through plays, which is really exciting to me because I had no idea I could reach even my family on social media. Sometimes it's nice to see that we're getting 400 to 1,000 people actually watching these videos every week and really getting engaged in what's going on, really in their own backyard. So that's really positive. And I hope that, this is a jumping off point for your campaign and anybody else that's going to be on the show in the future, that you can hopefully use this as something to point people to if they want something quick and easy to learn more about you. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about today? Any other important issues that we haven't touched on?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot today.
Okay, good. And I guess the last thing is, if people do want to connect with you and they want to reach out and, bend your ear about municipal affairs, where do they get a hold of you?
So I have a website. It's hendersonforaniniq.com. And all my contact information is on there. So I have my email, I have Facebook. I actually have a Northwest Community Group Facebook page where people can post in there openly about any issues they have, whether it's political or just community, whatnot. We also have a Facebook page and an Instagram page. And yeah, people can just Google me as well, just Michelle Henderson. I'm all over the place, so pretty easy to find.
Okay. What's the name of the Facebook group you said?
Northwest Edmonton Community Group.
Okay. So they should be able to put that into the Facebook search bar and find that.
Yeah. Why you should post your there too. The interview with Aaron. You're welcome to post that as well. And then Taylor on here next week. I'd love for you to post that in there as well.
Oh, awesome. That's very generous of you to open that up for us. Yeah. I mentioned it to you on an email. I haven't said it to the community yet, but next week I'll be interviewing Tyler Zoots. So.
Oh, spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. He'll be coming on. I'm trying to clear my way through all of the people in the Aniniq ward before moving on to Tasta-Winiwek, because there's a few more candidates over there. There's, I think, 8 or 9 now we're up to in that.
Oh, wow.
I haven't looked at it in the last week, but it's every week a couple more people are throwing their hats in the ring. So we're going to have a lot of interviews to do over the next couple of months for sure, and as this campaign winds up and we get closer to the election. So, and I'm happy to help out anybody who's running. Same offer to you as to everybody else. If there's anything on social media or you have any issues or posts or things that you want to help build up, feel free to reach out and say, hey, Trev, could you share this or like it or whatever you want, or if something important comes up in your campaign, feel free to reach out again, and I'm happy to have another conversation with you. Okay.
Well, thanks. That's so awesome of you.
All right. Well, I think that should just about wrap up. I don't know how long we've been going here, but it feels like it's about
Didn't even look at the time.
30 minutes. I don't know. So, but we're getting close to noon here, which is when I said we should be done. So I'll let you go. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend here. And yeah, good luck. Best of luck in the race. Thank you for joining me.
It was really nice to talk to you.